Hi, my name's Kate, and I am the owner and creator of Kate&Barrel Designs here in Tucson, Arizona. So today, what I'm going to be doing is I painted this front entryway that we have a couple years ago with One Hour Enamel, and I've decided I want to change up kind of the look and feel of it, and I want to do more of like a herringbone subway tile instead of this kind of stenciled checkery pattern that's currently on here. So we put in a new entry door and a new gate as well. So there's some items that needed to be filled in and taken care of. So this is the project that I'm going to be working on today. One Hour Enamel is awesome for your front doors. Actually, mine is in the jet black. It's fantastic for kitchen cabinets, and it's also great for floors. So you can use it on concrete tile, all that good stuff, proper prep, everything that needs to go into it obviously will make your project the absolute best that it could possibly be. So because I've already got a layer of 1 hour enamel down, I can actually go right over it. Typically I would, do a different prep where I'd have my Wise Owl stain eliminating stain eliminating primer underneath it, which is already underneath it, 2 coats, and then I would go ahead and put my 1 hour enamel over it. Because I already have 1 hour enamel on here, I'm just gonna go ahead and brush right on, and then once that's dry, we'll see if I need 1 or 2 coats, and then once that's dry, I will go ahead and start the stencil part. So stay tuned. So essentially what I'm doing here is I have my B10 block brush, which is a massive Klingon brush that I love to use for large areas such as this. Um, and I'm just going through and laying down my first coat of Weather Vane in OHE. You'll notice I talked about earlier about how I didn't have to put down a second coat or do primer because I had already put down a coat of 1 hour enamel. So essentially, what I did was I just kind of cleaned what was already there. Um, Probably should have vacuumed it up a little bit more, but it's an entryway. It's gonna get dirty. Turned out pretty nice. Okay, so I let it dry. Typically, 1 hour enamel, you need an hour to 2 hours of dry time. Here in the heat of Arizona and the dryness of Arizona, I have the benefit of it drying a little bit quicker, and I can rush my project a little bit more than I typically would in a different situation. So just know that you definitely want to make sure you take the allotted time that you need to ensure that you have a full dry time before you go ahead and start on a second coat. So I felt like I had enough dry time, and I've been using this product long enough to know kind of where my limits are, and I went through and started doing my second coat. Now, I had almost full coverage with my first coat. There were just a few spots that I really needed to go back over, so I figured why not just go ahead and do a second coat. Also, because of the concrete, there's little divots. You can see I kind of am pouncing the brush in there a little bit to make sure that I'm getting inside those divots for full coverage. Obviously, this is sped up. However, you still do want to work really quickly with the paint. It self-levels, which is fantastic. So even though I'm utilizing a brush, you're not really going to see brush strokes, especially because I am going to go back through and utilize that herringbone subway tile looking kind of stencil. So um, I was really happy with the results of the first coat, and then now with the second coat, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So after I waited for this to dry, I went ahead and started planning out. After it was dry, I started planning out my herringbone pattern with the Royal Design stencil. My video gets cut off, so I ended up using a roller to achieve the final results that I got as I went ahead and laid the stencil pattern. You can see this is part of the result that I got on just laying the stencil. I didn't want a full coverage of the alabaster. I kind of liked a few shaded spots with the weather vane kind of poking through. It's definitely not perfect, but I really, really like the pattern and the way that it's turning out. And I did go back through and do some touch-ups on my own to make sure that some of the lines were a little bit more crisp. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial on how to obtain a herringbone pattern with 1 hour enamel.